Hello students. So in the previous lecture we have understood that cash is one of the most important current asset which should be optimally or sufficiently maintained by every firm. But on the other side, it is very difficult to maintain the optimum cash balance until and unless a firm is aware of the certain techniques or models how the optimum cash balance can be effectively maintained. So this kind of problem of when to when to maintain the cash or how much cash is needs to be converted, so this kind of problem needs to be optimally addressed by every firm, means maintaining a proper trade-off between risk and return of maintaining the cash balance. And for meeting this problem, several models has been suggested to deal with the problem of optimum cash balance, and there are two certain important models which has been discussed in these slides. First is the Baumol's model, and the second is the Miller-Orr model. Now let us start with the Baumol's model, or it is also known with the name William J. Baumol's model. As William J. Baumol developed this model in the year 1952, and this model resembles EOQ model of the inventory management. This model basically attempts to balance the income which is foregone on cash held by the firm against the transaction cost of converting the cash into near cash items. Means that inventory management model EOQ, which aims at maintaining the trade-off between carrying cost and ordering cost, it is similar to that model only. This Baumol model aims at trade-off between opportunity cost or carrying cost or holding cost and the transaction cost. So the firm attempts to minimize the sum of holding cash and the cost of converting the marketable securities into the cash form. And it says that optimal cash balance is only achieved at a point where the total cost is minimum. In the inventory management model of EOQ, the objective was same, that total cost should be minimum where ordering cost and carrying cost are summed. This model helps in determining a firm's optimum cash balance under certainty. There are mainly four assumptions of this model. That it assumes that firm uses the cash at an already known rate, or it is certain. The cash disbursements means outflow payments, they are spread uniformly over the period. The interest rate also remains fixed or constant. The firm will pay a fixed transaction cost each time. Now, this is represented in the form of a diagram and with the help of a formula. Diagram is much similar to the EOQ model of the inventory management, which resembles here that total cost is minimum at a point where the transaction cost is minimum. So the trade-off between the holding cost and the transaction cost gives the best optimum cash balance according to the Baumol's model. Now how it can be represented with the help of a formula. C stands for the optimum cash balance, equals to square root of 2AO, or you can say 2AF divided by O. Here O is replaced by the carrying cost is replaced by O. O stands for the holding cost or the opportunity cost. F is the fixed cost per transaction, whereas in inventory instead of F it was O, means cost per order. Here it is cost per order or transaction. A stands for the annual cash outflow. So there it was annual demand, right? Now let us take one illustration to better understand the concept of the Baumol's model. ABC Limited has estimated that use of rupees 24 lakhs of cash during the next budgeted year. It intends to hold cash in a commercial bank which pays interest at 10% per annum. For each withdrawal, the company incurs expenditure of rupees 150. What is the optimal size for each withdrawal? So you have to find out C, which is optimum cash balance. So formula is 2, then multiplied with cost per transaction 150 multiplied by 24 lakh divided by the holding cost, which is 10%, 0.10. So this rupees 85,000 means that each time the firm will withdraw 85,000 rupees from the bank deposits. After spending all the amount, the complete amount of 85,000 rupees, again the company will draw a similar amount and so on. So in this way they can maintain the sufficient and which is the optimum cash as per the firm's decision policy. Second one is the Miller-Orr model, which also aims at maintaining the optimum cash balance. This model was introduced by two persons named M.H. Miller and Daniel Orr. This model is also called as a model of demand for money. They tried to give an extension to the Baumol's model, and they have developed this model with uncertain cash inflows and cash outflows. This model basically overcomes the limitations of the Baumol's model. Here the cash flows of a firm, they are neither uniform nor certain, whereas for the Baumol's model assumption, it was assumed that the rate of interest, the cash inflows outflows all remain certain and fixed. Now this model provides two control limits. One is the upper control limit and the another one is a lower control limit along with a returning point. When the cash balance touches the upper control limit, marketable securities are purchased. So the cash balance touches the lower limit. Now here we can better understood with the help of a diagram. Now this diagram represents the Miller-Orr cash management model. On the y-axis, cash balance or the amount of cash. On the x-axis, it is the time period. Now two lines can be easily observed as upper control limit and lower control limit. Upper control limit signifies of buying the securities. Lower control limits also signifies the buying of the securities. Now, how it is being understood that the spread between the lower and upper limit has been computed by the model, which minimizes the transaction as well as the interest cost. The firm buys the securities when it gets to the upper level and reduces its cash to the return level, and sell the securities when it gets to the lower limit and raises its cash balance to the same point. So basically this model can be better understood in 3 steps. The first step involves specifying a minimum cash balance which comprises the lower limit for the cash. Second step means estimating the variability in future cash flows, which could be assessed on the basis of the past experience of the firm. And third step involves computing the spread as a function of variability, transaction cost and market interest rate. And what happens is this spread is added to the lower cash limit in order to find out the upper cash limit for the firm. Basically the formula used is the spread between the upper and lower cash balance. Z equals to 3 multiplied by 3 by 4 into transaction cost into variance of cash flows divided by the interest rate, and return point is lower limit plus spread divided by 3. This is a practical example to illustrate the Miller-Orr model. According to your course, the practical is not there particularly for this model, but to understand the concept, it has been marked here. A company has a policy of maintaining a minimum cash balance of rupees 1 lakh. The standard deviation in daily cash balances is rupees 10,000. The interest rate on a daily basis is 0.01%. The transaction cost for each sale or purchase of securities is rupees 50. Compute the upper control limit and the return point as per Miller-Orr model. So put the formula, put the required figures in the formula, and here the return point is 1,33,472. Upper limit with the help of formula of 3 into 3 by 4 into the transaction cost into variance of cash inflows divided by the interest rate. So interest rate is 0.01%, which can be written as 0.0001. So this way you can calculate the Miller-Orr model. According to the Miller-Orr model, the cash balance which should be optimally maintained by the firm. Now this was all about the two major models which aims at maintaining the minimum cash balance or optimum cash balance by the